Hi everyone, welcome back to the Kat Scrappiness YouTube channel. My name is Marla. Today I am sharing this adorable slimline card. It's a 4x9 card, and these are some of the products that I have used. All of these products can be found in the Kat Scrappiness Store. This is Let's Go Nuts. This is Lift the Flap Tree Backdrop. These are the Kat Scrappiness Stitched Hills Slimline. Those are the fancy folded banners. I'm using Rich Cocoa from Memento to stamp my images with. I will also be using Distress Oxide in Spun Sugar, Shaded Lilac, and Dusty Concord. And I did cut out some of those elements just to save time. This video, I had to speed it up quite a bit just because I didn't want you sitting here for a very long time. I was trying to get all of the information on how I prepared this card without having it drag on. So I am starting by doing a little bit of ink blending. I'm starting with the spun sugar. I will clean off my brush because I can come back and use that again. And so I'm just adding the ink where I need it. I was using those hillsides to make sure that I reached the bottom of them because that is where the sky is going to meet the hills. Now I'm coming in with that shaded lilac, and I am going to use that same brush because I don't have multiple brushes. I only have one brush per color. I'm going to go ahead and use the Dusty Concord with that brush, and then I will use that brush that I cleaned off for the spun sugar. I will use that again to reblend that shaded lilac, and I'm very happy with the colors that I got. I think this is an absolutely beautiful combination. I knew that I wanted to create a fall card, something that said grateful. I am planning on sending cards out in November, so I'm trying to get cards prepared for my family and friends. And so I thought that this would be a fabulous card for my niece. Now I'm going to come in and add some glacier paste. This is a beautiful glacier paste. It's from Nuvo. It's Frosted Petal, so a very soft pink. And I am going to take this fancy tool, which looks like it's one of those, I think it's ThermoWeb that has that scraper, and to put on the paste. But no, this actually came from something from the Pampered Chef. I think that it's like a separator for one of the bins that I have. I could not find my spreading tool anywhere, so this worked out perfectly. I am going to put this paste on, and then I will immediately take this over to my sink and I will wash everything off. I did end up removing that mask, making sure that that Nuvo paste didn't glue it down. I'm using Distress Oxide and Pumice Stone. Again, I want to keep these colors really light, so I decided to use Pumice Stone for the grounding on my hills. And these hills actually are 8 1/4 inches long, and as I said, my card base is 9 inches long. I chose to go with a longer pre-made or self-made card base. This is frayed burlap that I'm using on those trees, and then I'm going to come in with some scattered straw, and I'm going to just blend over the moon. And I realized that there was something still on my brush. Typically I will take my brushes over to the sink and I wash them every single time, not necessarily with soap, but I do wash my brushes out so that that problem doesn't occur. And I guess I picked that one up and put it back into my caddy, thinking that I had already cleaned it. We're going to do a little bit of Copic coloring. I decided that I wanted to go ahead and bring in this stamp set right here. I'm not sure what it is called. It's right here on my desk, so excuse me for making that noise. It is called Car Critters. and I am going to end up putting one of my squirrels in that car. I kind of thought that this was like over the river and through the woods to grandmother's house we go. I thought that this was that it would be cute to have the car driving up and have the other little squirrels super excited to find out that their grandmother has arrived for maybe Thanksgiving dinner. Who knows? So I am using some E70 markers. I know I keep using this combination, but I absolutely love it. So I have used on the car, I used E77 as my darkest color, E74 as my mid-tone, and E71 as the light color. This is the E71 for the roof, and I am just going to use a little bit of the E74 and then blend it back out again with the E71 on that roof. For the center of the car, I wanted it to be just a little bit lighter, so I used E53 as my darkest color and E51 as my lightest color. I only used 2 colors on that portion of it. For the chrome, I decided that I wanted to stay with the warm tones. So I will bring in W3 and W1. I will use those on the mirrors as well as the bumper. And then I believe I only use W1 on the license plate. For the tires, I will come in with a W8, and then we'll start coloring up our squirrels. I'm only going to color one of the squirrels. I did use the same color combinations. All I did was, for some, I added more of the deep tone, and for others, I used more of the mid-tone. So there's 3 of them, and I tried to just get a little bit of a color variation, so it was just whether I was heavy-handed with the dark color or not. I'm actually going to show you the squirrel that is running, who is absolutely adorable. And for that squirrel, I decided to go with more of a mid-tone. Now I do need to put the headlights on. I started with a YR20. I thought that it just blended in a little bit too much, so I will go around that and leave the centers with the YR20 and darken it up with the Y35. Here's where I'm coloring those tires. So if you haven't been over to the Kat Scrappiness Facebook page, we are still waiting for you guys to go over there and share your cards. We've had a couple people share their cards, but we're really looking for you to inspire us with the cards that you've created using the products that you've purchased in the Kat Scrappiness store. I will link that in the description box as well as the blog. I did, right here, I'm coloring that squirrel. As I said, I'm using my lightest tone on that one, and that was, let me see here, that was E23. So I started with E23 and then I used the E25 and just did a little bit of blending with that. On the that squirrel right there, I used the E27, 25, and 23, and then you see I didn't color the whole squirrel because he's going to be sitting in the car, so he didn't need to be colored all the way. I am using a gel pen to add some accents and some freckles to the little squirrel's cheeks. I colored the little scarf using V20, and then I came in with the V17, which was actually the darker of the 2 colors, and I added a little bit of depth to that. So now I wanted to add a little bit of sparkle and shine, and so I am using the liquid Stardust, also from the from Lawn Fawn, and I just mixed a little bit of water with that, and I am splattering it all over my hillside. You can see how pretty it is. It's really hard to get it pictured photograph of it. So those leaves I went ahead and ink blended using the same 3 colors, and then I took the leaf dies from the acorn house and I cut out all of those leaves. I did take some Imagine Crafts in Frost, the spray, and I sprayed those leaves. So now I did add a little bit of foam adhesive to the bottom hillside, and because I did that, over on the left side you see I'm going to need to add some foam tape to my tree just so that it's the same level and it doesn't concave. I'm going to glue this one flat down, and then I will add a little bit of foam tape, I believe, to the... Nope, I think I do glue the one on the right directly down to the panel. I will come in with my Tim Holtz scissors. I really need to get along the haberdashery. I think that's what they called. I need to get the long scissors because it was really difficult trying to get that middle tree cut. So I wanted to make sure that everything was even with the card base. Now I have removed the backing from the foam tape, and I'm adhering the hillside, and I'm adhering this third tree. And we are going to start by putting our car on. I've already glued the squirrel to the inside of the car. To the upper half of the car, I've added that foam tape. Because that hillside is propped up with foam tape, I needed to make sure that the car was even. And now I'm adding the little scarf to my squirrel because it's a chilly night and he needs to be warm. She needs to be warm because that's grandma, isn't it? Then I'm going to glue down my other 2 squirrels. That is the darker of the 2 squirrels. And we will get the one that is running. And then I will lay out my leaves. I will take some art glitter glue and I will glue those leaves down. Here I'm adding the sentiment to my banner. It's going to say "Grateful for You," and I did stamp that using the same Memento Rich Cocoa ink. I will line that up, and then I will take the smallest of the leaves from the acorn house, and I will flank on the left and the right of that sentiment the leaves. I have put some foam adhesive to the back of the banner, and I'm adding glue to the tails. And I just think that this is an absolutely adorable card. As I said, all of these Lawn Fawn products are in the Kat Scrappiness shop. I don't think that the car critter is in the shop, but everything else should be in the shop, and I will link everything in the description box below. I will be back next week with one more video, and that is going to be it for me today. So I will show you a couple views, or one more view of this card, and a little bit of a close-up so you can see the coloring a little bit better. And as I said, that will be it for me today. I will have my social media information listed in the description box below. If you're interested in checking out my channel, head over to the Kat Scrappiness shop. She has some wonderful slimline products. As I said, that slimline hillside does fit her dies. Her dies typically are 3 1/4 by 8 1/4, so it is the perfect size. She has some waves, and she has some chevron dies. She has some really beautiful slimline dies. So head over to her store, take a look, and until next time, I hope that you have a fabulous day. Thanks for watching.